Welcome back to Omaha, Nebraska. This is probably our only chance to walk off with the winning score.
What a swing by Iva Arquette, the biggest home run we've seen hit here at 418 feet.
Now, we don't know who can win the game, but
Alicea's playing, as we talked about all weekend and into this week, as Dan McDonald said, a jacked up thumb. He said Alicea personifies the spirit of this team. 2-1.
all right. So our goal for this is going to walk off with the win, home run, and then we'll be on our way. And moving on. Oh.
Dan McDonald talked about rising from the valley. And this 3 of 4 NCAA tournaments all together. Something that seemed unfathomable for the Cards. Full count.
Well, I know you don't like how it ended up. At the end of the day, you got a top ball game up to bat in the top of the order. I think if the game started, when the game started, the Cardinals would have taken that opportunity. Now you got to cash in on it.
Just off the edge, ball 4. What a take by Alex Alicea, who atones and works it lead off one.
This ball's off. Casey Moser has had a heck of a day behind the plate today. And it's a breaking ball that just doesn't quite get back to the corner, man, and that's the right call. As this one kind of wraps around the edge, but never actually gets back to it. And here you go. Lead off man on in the bottom of the ninth, top ball game.
And now you got options at this part of the lineup with Alicea on and Lucas Moore, all his speed and the way he handles the bat in the box. 33 bags you see for Alex Alicea.
Yeah, I think Lucas Moore wants it here, don't you, man? You got to be able, you got to make them pick the ball up and throw out the fastest guy on the field, and then you give the 2 hottest hitters in your lineup 3 20 in a row and keep the chance to win it for you.
Four squares, pops it up. Long way to go for Weber and out of his reach. Nearly gifted to Oregon State.
That'll make your heart skip a beat if you're in the Louisville dugout.
From Lucas Moore, first team All-ACC sophomore center fielder. He's had a fabulous season this year. He squares, he pops up another.
Now, Dan McDonald wants a timeout. He needs to chat with the center fielder now. There's a lot of programs that work on bunting. None more than Louisville. Second in this field in sacrifice bunts behind only Coastal Carolina. What do you think, Ben? Think they keep it on?
I think so. You think you trust him enough? I think he does.
I think he does. And the other question is, again, he's probably not going to hit the double play. But what you don't want is you fear the strikeout and the runner doesn't advance.
You got your big bats coming after Moore, of course. Matt Klein, catcher captain in the 3 spot. Then Jake Monroe swinging. Probably the hottest bat for Louisville in the cleanup spot. So is it still on for Lucas Moore on an 0-2 for Kellen Oaks? The pitch, he swings it. Chops it just foul.
It's almost a little slash
For a second and third situation right there.
that had a little intro on it right there, just to rock it down the third baseline that just missed.
Tension caked all over this ninth inning again. Moore lines one down the left field line, and it's hit.
And,
You said it, that's intro. Dan McDonald said this the other day, that's something Lucas Moore practices.
Little backside slash. Almost rounder, now this time a line drive.
Get a little hairy with the fat feeding fastball.
I was about to say,
Like a breaking ball down, but a breaking ball down allows out and say it, and that's the problem.
0-2. Moore pokes the foul. He got a change up, and then he went. And now they're going to say the catcher's interference on Wilson Weber. So from a 2-strike count, Moore battling, he gets aboard, and the winning run is in scoring position.
That can happen when a hitter's letting the ball travel as much as Lucas Moore was right there. You just don't see a whole lot of that in Division I baseball. This thing, he lets it get so deep into the mid that it's almost being caught. It just, yeah, no doubt. Catcher's interference.
Wow. Mitch Canham, a former catcher in his own right, of course. Two-time national champ behind the plate for Oregon State. Comes out to talk with Casey Moser. But for both you guys, I mean, that's just a product of the way Moore hits, right?
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think when you saw the previous two pitches, man, how late he swung on those two, it doesn't shock me this happened, but he's hitting it literally out of the mid.
Yeah, he's letting it get as deep as he can. And why wouldn't he? I mean, you got to respect the breaking ball. You got 2 strikes on you. You're just trying to shoot it the other way. All right, how many sacrifice bunts in a year for Matt Klein?
Oh, please.
Let's get the interns on it.
Zero.
None, huh?
Oregon State is challenging the call of catcher's interference. The previous play is under video review.
I guess might as well if you're Mitch Canham. It is something that is subject to a challenge. Catcher's interference with the batter's swing is allowed. You can't do it on a squeeze play or stealing home, but you can do it in spots like this. So you can challenge this if you're Mitch Canham. And let's try to listen to it.
Time. That's catcher's interference. First. Casey Moser all over it again, and couldn't hear it as much as you can see it on the replay we showed where the glove clearly got bent down by the bat of Moore. Yeah, this is the look right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear.
It's confirmed. There is catcher's interference. Oregon State will lose a challenge if it has 1 challenge left.
I feel like we've seen so much more of it in recent years, too, with the way catchers are trying to steal strikes. A little bit lower in the zone, maybe closer to home plate. That number, when you measure where catchers set up, has changed the last few years.
Yeah, big bump here, right, Berkey? Even though he doesn't have one this year, you've got to do it. Now, for Oregon State, what are you going to put on, right?
Some sort of crash play, right? Either the wheel.
If you say, is the wheel play on here? Probably going to get a kick behind the runner first and second, and maybe put the wheel play on.
Louisville fans have been taken on a roller coaster that now leads to Matt Klein. Again, the guy who missed about 2 months with a broken bone in his wrist. And a few days later, Dan McDonald had a captain's meeting with the 5 captains, Klein one of them. And at the end of it, Dan McDonald took out his phone and showed Matt Klein who Warren Morris is. Hit the most famous home run in this event to walk off a national championship. Warren Morris had missed 42 games with a broken hamate bone, only to return, eventually swing, and eventually do that.
Only home run he hit that year.
Incredible score. Well, here's Matt Klein right in the middle of something at the CWS.
With his dad, Scott, hardly able to watch. Klein does square, wants it in front of home plate.
That's it. Is it? Oh no.
This has been a wild night. Then he had to
Now, let me ask you something. If he catches it directly from the base, are you walking with him anyway?
Yes.
So it doesn't feel quite as big as if this game was not tied. But it just more another example of the pressure that's out there on the field right now. And now you got to deal with Monroe and King. He's somehow trying to post the zero.
just picked his head up just enough for the ball into the tip of the glove.
So Rick Storman, the pitching coach, makes the walk out to the mound for Kalanos is at 17 pitches. There is action in the Beavers bullpen.
Is it not surprising they didn't run some sort of action to try to keep the runner from going to third? I mean, they basically played down there just straight up, right?
Straight up. I really thought we were going to get a pick behind the runner at second, like you typically do, try to keep him closer to the bag, and then maybe try to put the wheel play on and get that lead out over third.
And look who's coming in. Zach Edwards, a freshman who hadn't thrown in more than a month before he pitched on Sunday against Coastal Carolina. He looked nasty, so all of a sudden, the freshman is tasked with saving Oregon State's season. He enters into a bases-loaded, no-out spot in a tie game in this elimination game in Omaha.
We'll be right back on the other side.